So right as I decided to start doing videos again, my basement starts trying to flood from 4 different places. My drain line had a hose clamp just rust off and explode and try to flood my basement. The upstairs toilet decided it wasn't going to stay in one place and was dripping water down from the ceiling. The cinder block walls have got a few leaks that I still have not figured out yet. And I have an outlet that wanted to pour water out from behind it. So that was safe. Oh, and this drain line was leaking right all over the table where I used to charge my lipos. And actually was shorting out an extension cord and blowing the breaker for the whole basement. But that's all semi-fixed, and the whole workshop's a mess. But I'm gonna do videos anyway. So let's talk about the Ranger. So hello everyone, I'm Carius, and this is the Ranger Mega Dart bolt action sniper rifle from Spitfire Productions. The RSV6, which I believe is just Ranger Series version 6, which makes this probably a version or two out of date by now, and I've had a few problems with it because it has old parts that have since been updated, because this is actually Drac's Ranger from his very bizarre video on the Ranger.
We're going to do the rest of the video in a voice like this, I think. Yes. So, here we have the Spitfire Productions RSV6, a sniper rifle designed for hunting big game.
I bought it from him secondhand, and since then I have used it at dozens of Nerf wars, from kind of your standard SCNC events to Impact Dart League, which is competitive 5v5 tournament style modes. And it's seen a whole lot of action, and I wanted to talk about my experiences with the blaster and some of the issues I've had with the blaster that I've had to fix, and just kind of an overall review of this crazy Mega Dart sniper. So my Ranger is in the mainspring and a K25 with a little bit of a spacer and a scar that I added, and it's hitting about 180 to 190 FPS with Mega Darts, which is a lot. My double caliber is hitting 140, and anytime you're talking about Mega Darts approaching 200, you know you've got a crazy blaster. People have been able to push the Ranger up to 300 FPS with Mega Darts, but that's required a custom bolt assembly. They've got it on a K14 spring, and they've kind of redesigned several parts of the blaster to get it to shoot that hard. I definitely wouldn't want to be hit with a Mega Dart at 300 FPS. So I added a little worker grip to the front here on this rail that comes with the blaster, and I really like the ergonomics of the thumbhole stock plus this grip in the front. This scar is just the Mega Caliburn scar that's on Thingiverse, and I took that, sliced the back of it off, and added the threads to match the collet muzzle that the Ranger comes with. My original muzzle on the Ranger, which isn't a scar, it's just a cosmetic muzzle, ended up exploding because the first time I was tuning the blaster up and taking a look at it after I bought it, I took out one takedown pin, which is this screw right here, and then the front half of the blaster just fell off and hit the ground because this pin was not there. And the muzzle that it came with broke into several pieces because it's just these thin parts. As you can kind of see, I ended up solvent welding it back together, and it still works, but it's not a scar, it's just a cosmetic muzzle, so I was having a lot of accuracy issues. So Spitfire himself only uses AccuStrike Megas, which are actually accurate enough to not need a scar at approaching 200 FPS. But the rubbery tip means that like 1 in every 10 shots is just not going to want to fire. It'll get caught weird and get stuck in the barrel. I've had a little bit of luck with spraying some silicone lubricant down the barrel just to lube it up, and then these will fire a little better, but I've found that they're just not reliable enough. And instead I prefer using the AccuFake Megas, the whirlwind darts that you can find on NF Strike or the Chinese mod websites. They're a little harder to find nowadays, but I bought a ton of them back when they were first available, so I have more than I know what to do with. And these are actually less accurate than AccuStrike Megas, but they're way more reliable in terms of actually making it out of the barrel, because the heads are just a little bit smaller than the foam, so they're not actually, ideally they're not actually contacting the barrel on the way through like these would be. But with these at approaching 200 FPS, or even at 140 like with my Caliburn, they like to veer a lot, so they do need a scar. So I had to take that Caliburn scar and adapt it to put it on here, and this is actually working really well. With the AccuFake Megas and with AccuStrike ones, when they actually want to make it out of the barrel, this thing shoots lasers. Using these iron sights, which are just sights ripped off of a Dart Zone Dictator that I've found I really like on this blaster, I can hit a Mega Dart sized target with a Mega Dart reliably. At Impact Dart League, I have shot several people in the face because that was the only thing that was visible as they hide behind barricades, and the accuracy of this thing has been pretty scary. So with my Ranger, it's a pretty early model, I believe. It's got an outdated plunger design that this plunger actually broke in half, and I have solvent welded it back together. It is cracked. I'm not sure if you can see where. Yeah, there's kind of a split in the back here, and that traveled all the way down the plunger head. So this was broken into two pieces. But melted it back together, and so far it has worked just fine. I've been told that the newer Rangers have a completely different plunger head design, so that's not even an issue. Also with mine, and I'm not sure if this is something that has been changed either, but it wasn't actually compatible with Busby Mega magazines, which is the main one that I use, because I've got a few of these Tyrant mags that hold 13 darts, and it wouldn't actually fit into the magwell correctly. It was getting pushed inward quite a bit, and then darts wouldn't feed. And that was actually because of two ridges on the inside of the magwell that were here and here. They're meant to go into this groove in a Centurion magazine and kind of just match that profile of the magazine. You can see those two little indents. Whereas the same groove on a Busby mag is a lot smaller. It's a lot thinner. So I could force it into the magazine well. You can see the difference there, just barely. It's a lot wider on the Centurion mag. So I could force the Busby mag into the mag well, but it was getting crunched pretty bad right here, and then the follower wouldn't move. So I just took a chisel and removed those ridges entirely, and now it works flawlessly with Busby mags. No problem. So that was an easy fix. And unfortunately, because Hasbro is stupid and can't keep their Mega Mag geometry consistent, whether accidentally or intentionally to screw over their competitors, Motostrike mags do not fit in the Ranger because they are different from Centurion mags in their geometry. They have a larger area on the front here. So the magwell would have to be a little bit more opened up on the front for this magazine to even go in. It gets stuck right here because they decided to make Motostrike mags significantly thicker on the front of the magazine for no reason. So it doesn't work with these, but it will work with these. It works really well with them. So yeah, let's do some firing and show off the accuracy and the power that you can get with one of these. Okay, so I've loaded 3 of each kind of Mega Dart in this magazine here. We got 3 Whistlers, then 3 AccuFake Megas, and then 3 AccuStrike Megas, just to see if there's any differences in FPS between them. I'm going to get some numbers. So first we got 3 whistling darts. 150. 186. 184. That's about right. We got 3 IQ fake megas. 174. 170. 171. It's pretty consistent. Now the IQ strike megas. 184. 186. 184. Yeah, so mid 180s with the IQ strike megas. 170s with the IQ fakes because they're a bit heavier, and then 180s and a 150 with the whistlers, but good luck shooting whistlers at anything anyway. So in addition to all kinds of Nerf events and competitive events, I also brought this and used it to Chicken's Costco War, which is an old school Nerf war that it has different restrictions each time, but it's designed to encourage people to bring out their crossbows and snaps and all the old school fun stuff. And the rule for last Costco was no magazines, so you can't really breech load this thing very well. The gap here for the bolt is too small for a mega dart, and reaching up into the magwell to load a mega dart is awkward, but also feels pretty dangerous because you're just begging for the catch to fail and crunch your fingers. So I made this, which is a Busby Boss magazine. It usually holds 3 darts, but this one only holds 1. Because it's got these big old bolts going through the magazine that just are in the way of the follower. So it's basically just a shell. So I use this at Costco, just loading 1 dart at a time and shoving the magazine in, and then firing, and then taking the mag out, putting a new dart in. It felt like using a musket, but it was still pretty effective because this thing's so accurate and has a ton of range. I didn't have any rate of fire to speak of, but it was some goofy fun. So I have the world's most pointless magazine. Alright, I've got a magazine loaded up. I'm about 40 feet away from the cups. I'm going to try to see if I can shoot them one after another. Let me zoom in here. It looks like the chronograph's in the way, that first one, but not from where I'm sitting, so shouldn't be a problem. Now let's see if I can hit them. Oh, so close. Oh, so close. Alright, I think this is my last shot in the magazine. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty damn accurate. I'm just sitting back here, 40 feet away, aiming down these iron sights, which are not the best, but they are working, as you can clearly see. Hit a couple double cup shots, but it's surprisingly accurate. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Just wanted to show off the Ranger and give my thoughts about it. I've had a ton of fun over the past few months with this thing at Nerf Wars, hitting people from 100 feet away with mega darts. So I'm currently printing a blaster that I'm really excited about. I bought a hardware kit for it that's on its way, and as soon as that one's finished, I'll be doing a video showing it off. Not really going to tell you what blaster it is yet, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, this has been Carius, reminding you to have fun. He's so cute. I love him so much. Even though he has needle feet. He just always wants to be in my lap. Why do I do this to myself? Now I gotta clean it all up.